Welcome to this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. We'll keep it here on GLWS as we bring you all the action happening around Rodeo Nebraska. Spotlight a cowboy who has earned the nickname 9X, the updates from Rodeo RFD-TV's The American, and so much more. Well, athletes from the Good Life were on the rodeo road this past weekend. It's now time to catch up with pro rodeo announcer Jared Slagle as he gives us a pro rodeo update.
Looking at the rodeo world in the past week, we see in the bareback riding a couple of Good Life Western Sports cowboys doing well in San Antonio, Texas. Orrin Larson, the Canadian cowboy who lives in Gering, Nebraska, advances to the San Antonio semifinals by placing second in bracket number 2. Orrin was third in the first round, and he wins the third round with an 84.5-point ride on Cervi Rodeo's Ain't No Vitalix Angel. Yeah, Vitalix. That was started in Nebraska. Orrin has cashed in over $7,100 out of San Antonio. Joining Orrin in the semifinals at the Texas Rodeo is Mullins' Stephen Dent. With the 4 top money winners in the 5 brackets advancing, Stephen places third in the 5th bracket, placing second in the first round, 4th in the second round, and 4th in the third round. He's captured over $5,900 so far in San Antonio. Steer wrestler Kyle Whitaker of Chambers places 4th in the second round and 3rd in the third round of bracket number 1, but was unable to advance to the semifinals, but he did collect $1,700 from San Antonio. Matt Kasner from Cody, the team roping healer, wins $1,189 at San Antonio, placing 3rd in the first round in bracket number 3, but does not advance to the semis. Matt also grabs $4,500 out of Texas at San Angelo, where he and his partner Logan Olson of South Dakota were 4th in the average and 2nd in the finals. In the saddle bronc riding, the Alberta cowboy with Hyannis, Nebraska ties Zeke Thurston advances to the semifinals at San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Zeke ends up second in bracket number 2. Zeke wins the first round on Harry Bold's Rodeo's Mountain Climber with an 86-point ride. He was second in the third round. $7,700 so far he's won out of San Antonio for the former world champion. Zeke also wins over $1,700 from San Angelo and places in Buckeye, Arizona. Court Shearer from Ellesmere advances in San Antonio as the top saddle bronc rider coming out of the bracket number 4. Court wins the second round with an 86-point ride on Three Hills Rodeo's Prom Night, and he also wins the third round with an 89-point ride on Frontier Rodeo's Medicine Woman. He was 4th in round number 1. A little over $10,700 so far won from San Antonio. He places at the 140th Silver Spurs Rodeo in Kissimmee, Florida as well. In the tie-down roping, Alliance Nebraska native and 2-time NFR qualifier Ryan Watkins places at San Angelo. In the steer roping at Hells of Poppin' Days in Buckeye, Arizona, we see a couple of Good Life Western Sports cowboys placing. Will McBride from Ogallala places 4th in the first round and 3rd in the average, and Trey Sheets, the Hyannis native, places 4th in the second round. With the semifinals and finals in San Antonio taking place, as well as the La Fiestas de los Vaqueros in Tucson going on in Pro Rodeo, as well as the American semifinals and finals, it is a busy week and weekend for the Good Life Western Sports contestants. We're going to do the best to keep you posted, so until next week, you stay classy, Nebraska. This is Pro Rodeo voice Jared Slagle. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Jared. When we return, we'll meet with a cowboy who has followed in his father's footsteps and has rightfully earned the nickname 9X.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. Well, this cowboy grew up with mentors on both ends of the arena. This past December, Kyle Whitaker of Chambers, Nebraska earned his 9th Linderman Award and has earned the nickname 9X. He has some big followers right here from the state of Nebraska, but his biggest fans are his 3 daughters. Meet Athlete Spotlight, Kyle Whitaker.
Kyle Whitaker, Chambers, Nebraska, calf roping, steer wrestling, saddle bronc riding. Rodeo is just something I grew up with. You know, my earliest memories are going with my dad to rodeos and sleeping in the back seat of the pickup while he's, you know, in between rodeos, and I'd spend the whole summer traveling with my dad to rodeos. And now I'm kind of just doing what I've always done my whole life, basically. I was lucky in that my dad and my grandpa Whitaker both worked both ends of the arena, so I had teachers at both ends, you know, my whole life growing up that laid the foundation for those events. To me, it's kind of the true cowboy award. It kind of honors more of rodeo's roots, I think, and so it means a lot to me. And you know, it means a lot to me because every time I went to rodeo with my dad, that's how he was introduced, as the 4-time Linderman Award winner. And you know, to me that seemed like a huge deal, and so I've always set a goal to win that and try to carry on the tradition. The first one was pretty cool just because you don't know if you can do it, you know, and now all of a sudden me and my dad have something in common. At the time my dad was still rodeoing with me, so that was neat, you know, to get introduced to rodeos that way. And as far as winning it now, it's just you just got to be thankful that you can still compete on both ends of the arena. As long as I've been able to, you know, it's a blessing, and you just have to be thankful for that. College rodeo was kind of where I kind of realized, I kind of stepped it up, and rodeo became my main sport. Put me in an avenue where I knew, you know, I could compete, I should be competitive. And my junior year, I won the steer wrestling in the Great Plains region and the all-around. And I went to the college finals in the saddle broncs and the steer wrestling. I won a round of the bronc riding at the college finals that year. And then my next year, my senior year, I won the all-around again. I was winning the bronc riding the whole season until the last rodeo of the year, and I got beat by the guy that was a 2-time college national champion. So I traveled with Brian to a couple rodeos, and then he asked me if he could sponsor me, and I was like, sure. And you know, Brian's a great guy, and there's a lot of people that are sponsored by Duba trailers now, and a lot of people pulling Duba trailers down the road because he's one of us. He's a cowboy, and he tries to help us out. And so you know, it's been fun representing him, and it's been a good partnership through the years. Art Leach, and he has the silencer chutes, AL silencer chutes. And then when I was at Houston a couple years ago, Art called me and asked if I'd want to wear a patch for him. And you know, I'm proud to represent him, and both of those companies, you know, they both are good Nebraska companies that help out the cowboys. Yeah, the Ram Circuit Finals, I mean, it's not the NFR, but it's, you know, to a circuit guy, it is the NFR, and it's something I always it's always a goal of mine to make that. And now it's in Kissimmee, and that's just a blast. I got to bring the girls down there and take them to the ocean. You get to hang out in warm weather. Fun, you know, Janae and Aubrey have really gotten into it, and Whitney's my youngest. She's in kindergarten, and she's starting to get more into horses now. Janae's an 8th grader and has made the junior high finals the last 2 years. My sister lives close by, and she helps them, and she's a great teacher and great coach, and she helps them a lot, and it's provided horsepower. So it's great to have a family that helps out, and we all kind of help each other. And you know, I like to take the girls around and do fun things, play games, if they want to, you know, whatever they want to try, or just hang out on the ranch a lot of times.
Ride his roping horse and sometimes his bulldogging horse.
That we get to spend time with him.
We look forward to seeing Kyle and other Good Life athletes competing over the next few nights at RFD-TV's The American Semifinals. Speaking of RFD-TV's The American Semifinals, after the break, we'll fill you on all that's happening there at Cowtown Coliseum over the next few days.
Rocket Sea Animal Chiropractic is dedicated to helping improve your horse's overall health performance. Dr. Crabtree incorporates chiropractic, low-level laser therapy, myofascial, and nutritional therapy to accelerate your horse's ability to heal and get back in the ring. Rocket Sea is mobile and travels the state to bring your horse the excellent care they deserve. Call Rocket Sea Animal Chiropractic today at 402-276-1348. 8 words to remember: we can work on you and the horse you rode in on.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. Well, over the next few days, several athletes from Nebraska will continue to earn their keep at RFD-TV's The American Semifinals for a chance to compete at the richest one-day rodeo at Dallas Cowboys Stadium on February 25th. Representing the Good Life State at RFD-TV's The American Semifinals is Nate McFadden of Ellesmere in the bareback riding, the 9-time Littleman Award winner and Chambers, Nebraska steer wrestler Kyle Whitaker, as well as the college rodeo coach Dean Gorsuch. JT Adams, son of Cody, Nebraska, qualified for the semifinals slot with an average time of 16.27 during the slack event. Ryan Watkins earned a spot at RFD-TV's The American Semifinals with an average time of 15.73 during the slack event as well. The saddle bronc rider from Ellesmere, Court Shear, will also continue at the semifinals action happening tonight at Cowtown Coliseum in Fort Worth, Texas. Tune in to Flow Rodeo or RFD-TV's The American app and watch the live feed. The 3 athletes that we continue to talk about from the Good Life State who have already punched their tickets to compete at Dallas Cowboys Stadium as an invitee, and those athletes include bareback rider Orrin Larson of Gering, Nebraska, Stephen Dent of Mullen, as well as saddle bronc rider and Hyannis, Nebraska rancher Zeke Thurston. Well, after the break, we'll dig deep into the details around the inaugural Nebraska Rodeo Forum, so stay tuned.
Are you cool to flex fuel? 1 in 7 Nebraskans is driving a flex fuel vehicle, and many don't even realize it. With a flex fuel vehicle, you can fill up with any blend of American ethanol and gasoline, from E10 to E15, from E30 to E85, at any time, in any amount. Look for an insignia on your trunk or tailgate. You might have a yellow gas cap, or check your owner's manual. If you're cool to flex fuel, then look for a flex fuel pump in your neighborhood. Flex fuel blends with American ethanol.
L&H Livestock Feed Equipment is the elite manufacturer of quality farm and ranch equipment. Headquartered in Hastings, Nebraska, with dealers located throughout the Midwest. With over 30 years of experience, L&H takes pride in only using the best materials and finest craftsmanship to produce top quality farm and ranch equipment. For more information and to find a dealer near you, visit lhmfg.com.
Welcome back to Good Life Western Sports. I'm Bobby Leanne. Rodeo Nebraska committees, promoters, industry leaders, association directors, and all other supporters of Nebraska Rodeo. Mark your calendars for Saturday, March 3rd, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. for the inaugural Nebraska Rodeo Forum that will take place at the Bossleman Conference Center at Fonner Park in Grand Island. We'd love to see you there as we talk about animal welfare, marketing in a modern age, as well as the National High School Rodeo Association that will make its way to Nebraska in 2020. RSVP to enable us to have an idea of a head count and register by clicking in the link in the description. And we look forward to seeing you and many others as we attend this event. Thanks again for joining me on this week's episode of Good Life Western Sports, and be sure to tune in next week as we highlight rodeo across Nebraska. For Good Life Western Sports, I'm Bobby Leanne.